Let's talk now about this New York shooting. So you know what happened. Photos have been released now of the so-called smiling assassin. This guy is the one who apparently killed the insurance boss, Brian Thompson, in a brazen attack outside the Hilton Hotel in Manhattan. Apparently, he kept his mask up until one moment when he wanted to flirt with the woman at the hostel he was staying at. So he then drops his mask, and that could be a very expensive smile there. The NYPD has said the images are of a person of interest. They're not prejudging it. It's an absolute shocker, though, Charlie, isn't it?
It is, and to think today that's brazen as someone can be in broad daylight, go and is alleged currently, as far as we know, a pre-planned attack against somebody, to go and find them, seek them out, to exchange a couple of shots, one in the back, one in the leg, and to just disappear in broad daylight. It's just shocking.
Yeah, it's a kind of very early meeting. This guy was going to a conference. We won't show the moment he shot, obviously, but you see he goes, there we are. There he is in the blue suit, Brian Thompson. It's terrible. It's so cold-blooded, shot in the back.
It looks like an assassination, doesn't it?
It really does. There are a number of things that where you start to think this guy wasn't a professional killer. It's a weird gun. It's one that's used normally on animals. So it's a World War II gun that was then converted for use by vets, which is strange. Also, the fact that he left his own phone at the scene, and it was not a burner phone, it properly is his phone. He left his fingerprints on a Starbucks cup. I would have thought that we will find out who he is in the next hour or two.
But aren't there like words on the bullets?
Yeah, so that's important. The bullet casings at the scene had the words depose, deny, defend written on them. And this is thought to be a reference to the so-called 3 Ds of insurance. And in fact, that book title, very similar, is all about insurance companies. Basically, they make profits by not paying out. And so when somebody says it's a very successful insurance company, you immediately start counting the spoons.
Yeah, you start saying, is this a private vendetta more than...
Oh, yeah, this is absolutely...
Rather than an assassination, like a more sort of group type thing. I think the other thing this really challenges, and this happens very regularly, but just that I think sometimes we think of killers as having a particular look. We don't imagine they would be good looking and smiling, and so this kind of challenges us because this could be our neighbour. I think that makes me feel really uncomfortable.
But he's not a wild, he's not on a rampage here. He's done something very deliberate, malicious.
Cool, calm, and collected.
Apparently when he ran off, he looked like he was limping. So now we're all starting to put 2 and 2 together and thinking, has he got a medical condition that wasn't covered? And there's so much resentment in the States about the way these companies make massive profits through healthcare. And it spilled over a little bit yesterday when a US journalist called Taylor Lorenz caused consternation because she posted about how she'd found out about the insurance boss's death with a celebratory image so you could see. So she said, look at how I found out. And someone says CEO down with some party emojis. She then wrote herself, people have a very justified hatred towards insurance company CEOs because these executives are responsible for an unfathomable amount of death and suffering. As someone against death and suffering, I think it's good to call out this broken system and the people in power who enable it. So there's not a lot of regret in there, is there?
No, but I mean, you might not disagree with what she says, but there's a process of bringing those people that are healthcare bosses, or if they're taking, people that have suffered, if they're taking them for a ride in any way, then there's court processes, there's ways of holding them, but not going out, to convert an old vet's gun to go and shoot somebody. That's totally. And as a politician, you shouldn't be advocating or supporting anything like that.
No, as a journalist as well. It's fine there are processes, but actually in the States there don't seem to be any guardrails. And if you set up an insurance company, you can make a lot of money. And the key way you make the money is by saying we're going to restrict your insurance for this condition, because on page 92 of the terms and conditions it says if you need chemotherapy for more than 16 weeks, we don't cover you, or whatever.
There is a really genuine argument, isn't there, here? There really is a genuine argument. I think it's really about the timing. Like, no one deserves to lose their life.
No.
And I think that we just have to take a moment to just recognise this is awful for his he's lost his life, but his family,
But we will probably, as this story comes out, they'll find the killer without a doubt. We'll find it's something to do with unpaid health insurance, I bet.